of the partners. Yeah, we will record this, that we can still have looked at something if needed, or if you need some traces. So yes, I'm really happy, but not only with the results, deliverables, and reporting. Like I said before, I'm really, really happy that we were really good partnership. We work together. We really exchanged the ideas, experience, and others. So this was not just the project that each partner just works by themselves at their own local or regional level, but we really try to exchange experience, good practice, good and bad stuff and things that we've been through. This was really also special because of COVID. You know, we all had or some of us still have some experience with the COVID, how to work online, how to exchange, and especially this Empower project was a lot about the people, how to connect them, how to convince them, how to present them different ideas, how to involve them and give them more power, more knowledge about monitoring, about poverty, about the energy issue and sustainable issue. And I think this was really a challenge, but we were able to overcome it. I think also the Empower Plus, so another year, gave us opportunity and possibility that we finalized. I'm also sure that the new horizons have also opened with this new knowledge, and this, I think, as we will talk a little bit on the end of today's conference about the future cooperation, future potential projects, future ideas. And yeah, because I think the partnership was so good, so this is something that I really like, and if there will be any possibility that we will coordinate something, for sure, I will invite you as a really trustable partners. We are today all partners, and also, of course, our secretariat. Without Maria Giovanna and team, I think this Empower project wouldn't run well. We would miss many reports, and I think also the financial part of the project wouldn't be so good without really good Excel sheet done by team and supervision by Maria Giovanna. And I think this too is also really taken into account. And I worked already with Secretariat before Empower, and then we were together as a lead partner and Secretariat in Empower. And I'm sure that we will be together with the Secretariat again. And if any of partners are thinking about how to prepare the project, how to lead the project, how to report, I think our Secretariat is really one of the best, I will say, in Europe. I know a lot of people working in different parts of the EU, and we always talk about the organization that could help us with the project, to monitor it, to work on it. And I'm always happy to say, yeah, I'm the most happiest lead partner because I have very good secretariat. Sometimes I don't want to tell all the names who is behind, because then I will know be too much work for Maria Giovanna and team, and I'm a little bit selfish. I would like to keep it for ourselves. But
thank you, Vlasta. Thank you so much.
Between the consortium, I think really, you can share the knowledge and invite Maria Giovanna. And yes, I think this is really something that we can say. Really, thank you. So, and our final event is also combined with the capacity building event. And because we were we had very nice time in Paris. I still remember, and I sometimes think to go back again. And many partners were really happy about the pilot that was, or the idea that was presented by our Lorient partners and by Ruby. So this is, and then, you know, there were no possibility to travel again because GS said that this was not planned and foreseen. And we said no problem, and we asked Ruby again to present us. So we will start our conference with a capacity building event. So, and we will ask Ruby to send us again, or present us again, this great energy challenge, the teddy bear energy monitoring. So, all right. Before I give you the floor, then the partners will introduce very shortly what they have done, final results, and some conclusions. Rose will join us a little bit late, so we will give her the floor a little bit later. On the end, there will be some information from our secretariat about the closure of the Empower project, and yeah, then we will discuss about the future cooperation. So now the floor is yours, Ruby. I will stop sharing my screen and you can share yours.
All right. Did you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So thank you very much to let me show you the teddy bear project to make ecology more practical. The idea come from Aloen and the Lorient City Agency, Energy Agency. So first presentation, who are we and what brought us to a teddy bear project, because it's very special project and what we care about. So I'm Ruby Ganchou, I'm Ecological Transition Officer at Aloen. It's a local agency for energy and climate of South Brittany in France. We come from 14 French agency. We are associations, non-profit and neutral association. We work really a lot with Pierre Crépeau, the head of the energy department of the city of Lorient. We have the same way of thinking because we think a link is necessary with the user and the agent of the building, how to make them aware of the consumption, production of the building, how to improve the citizen. We want to make improved citizen together to change those habits and monitoring better buildings. It's not just computers, it's also humans. And so at the beginning, there was a Solen project. Remembers 5 years ago, I speak to you about this project. And this is very special project for us because we designed everything on it. And this is a very famous project in France and make Lorient City very famous about this. This is a 12 partner project with 1,000 household participants. So it's a lot of household participants with 2 cities and 4 years of projects and a lot of euro invest. During this first project, we want to test a solution that mobilizes citizens. And the question was, what information and support solution for residents to manage their energy and how to collect, transmit, and use data from linky electric meters. So we try to ask a lot of questions with social experts from university who try to questionate people and house people. What is the best way to raise awareness among individuals on how to control their consumption? What will be the ideal internet platforms? How do users appropriate the different interface? What is difficult for them? And how to encourage people to do eco gestures? Because there is social values who interferes with energy management practices, and people don't want to change their practices quickly. So I will not explain all the 4 years project, but the main conclusions are one of the big findings that help us today is that half of the users of our internet platforms have digital energy and science skills too low to understand, and they are not interested in energy consumption. It's very important to understand that we are not sexy. And 25 people can understand, but they are not very stimulated enough and do not change their habit. Only 22% of the 1,000 people have a sustainable use of these websites and want to change their habit, but it's not enough. So we conclude that we need humans to explain energy and not just computers. We need empathy and we need explanation. It is necessary to use the playfulness, the gamification, and the sensory. to make people happy and use the group effect to change habits and make energy change. Because citizens are often stuck on numbers, and the use of digital technology is very complicated. So this is a Solent project. And with Lorient City, we try to do other projects like Teddy Bear project to make energy more practical, more sensitive, more gamification, and so on about the Teddy Bear projects. The first step, I try to give you some words. We're beginning the Teddy Bear project on 2020. The project was conceived during a hackathon, a remix hackathon. It's a 3-day event with participants with really different skills working together on the same issue. And the Solent's projects partners want to improve the conclusion and one concrete and tangible prototype to make people understand energy, not just humans and not just energy computers and energy data. We want to have empathy because people don't understand kilowatt-hours. It's not speaking to publics. So how to show them their consumption in the different ways with emotion, fun, and sensitivity to creating affect and empathy. During this 3-day event, a new idea increased. This is a teddy bear's ID. Because we know that the teddy bear is an empathy object in the house, a child house, a child object. Maybe people will more see him if it's a nice object.
Ja, eno konferenco vodim, veš, pa ne morem. Ja, dobro, ob enih končam, ja, čau. Ja, dobro, se vidimo, čau.
Mikrofon. Mikrofon.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I can continue? Okay. So the teddy bear house, the first prototype was this image, and can recover data from the link emitters thanks to local radio transmitters. And if your consumption is correct, the teddy bear stays you with a green light and nice music. So it's a bravo. If your consumption are not correct, you are increasing consumption because using a not good object, and during a day you increase the consumption in your house, it turns its back to you with a red light and this green sound. It's a really funny prototype, and we want to use it. We wanted to use it with real citizens. So this is an explanation of the house plans files for the laser cutters, because the prototype is free of license, so you can use it also in your country. This is the electrical networks and the 3D software's pictures of the first prototype. So to test the prototype with a real human, we inject the teddy bear project in another project, the Great Energy Challenge. With this new simples, a more sober version, it's the teddy bear number 2 versions, 2.1. And it's created and tested with 5 families participating in the Great Energy Challenge. Furthermore, the family assembles their own object during very popular workshop. So people really like their objects. It's their teddy bears, and child love teddy bears, so it's very fun, and we constate that a lot of times the child go to see their parents and say, hey, the teddy bear do something, have a look on the website. So it's very interesting. So some pictures of the popular workshop with children and Strophy when they created their own teddy bear project. And some word about the Great Energy Challenge. It's a 14 teams challenge over 2 months. Each team mixed 10 individual people with local businesses and public buildings. The goal is very simple. Monitor your energy consumptions, electric, gas, and waters, and drive them down to the bare minimum to win. So in 2021, the challenge is run for the third times with a really different kind of software and also the teddy bear project. So, hi. So the balance I have to find between online interaction and real life events. But the conclusion is that real life events are more popular than online interaction because of COVID. People prefer now real life events because enough of online interaction. And there are also good results in terms of energy management and people engagement, and also with public authority. So now the Great Energy Challenge with the prototype, teddy bear prototype, it's a social tool and also an introduction of the role and ability of local energy agency in this field. More explanation about how teddy bear projects is inside. So the teddy bear consumption requires Wi-Fi networks and leaky meters. Electricity consumption data are collected via the Linky and ERL module, local radio emitters. And the data are sent to platforms before being used by the internet connection of the teddy bear consumption cards in the form of API data interpretable by an object. I'm not really technical, and I don't have more explanations than that, but if you want more, I will ask to Pierre Capot if you want. So you can use it with smartphones too. Everything it's a free license. So if you want to use it on the fab laboratory in your country, you can. You just have to ask. About the third version of the teddy bears, yes, the projects continue with different partners because we don't have a lot of money. We try to interest the Epitech school. It's an informatics school and it works. In May, I go in this informatics school. Today, an ideation works day with 10 students. And we created a first prototype on papers. And just now in September, they created the real prototype. And the objective is, the purpose is to use this prototype with Lorient city administration people for an ISO 50 million approach. This is a kind of organization levels to reduce climate impact and conserving resources and improving their bottom line through effective energy management. So it's look like this. This is my two students, finally 2 students. And this is the last one prototype, very more simple with just one light And this is just first year's students. So they are very, very young. But this year's and in 2023, the projects will continue to several classes of students, third years, five years. And this is a win-win partnerships with the school, because we offer them an interesting and topical subject on energy data. The students can test and make several prototypes to practice. And for us, it's completely free. So it's a long-term project, but it's a free project. So we hope we will continue during many years with the school. Some kind of improvement for this teddy bear project, because it's not really perfect. It's change start too often. Color position, it's very noisy, because servo motors can be surprising people when it starts to turn. Sometimes the teddy bears didn't correlate with consumption household, so we have some data mistakes. If the Wi-Fi connection have some gaps in the transmission, it's not really adapted. So there is different data improvements about rotation, servo motors, and we really want to use console heroes and consumators collective created in the Empower project to improve the teddy bear project. And we want to work with Enedis. This is energy, the biggest energy agency in France, to give us the data of prototype citizen, to put data directly from internet into the teddy bear project, and not with a radio emitters, not with a Wi-Fi, directly with cable. And we want to develop a very specific platforms that will allow us to track our own data. We want to modify our own goals on the teddy bear project. To ask the teddy bears, I don't want to grow up than 2 kilowatts per day or 3 kilometers per day, and see how many times we are on the red in the mouth, for example. We want some improvements on this teddy bear project. And free software, for sure. For now, do you have any question before I go to Lorient City project for this year's? No? If there is no question, I continue. So now, because of the management energy label, ISO 50001, there will be an energy challenge on ecology transition and consumption data in the public building of the city of Lorient. So this is very a good opportunity for us to test the teddy bear project and to test the Great Energy Challenge project inside Lorient this year and in 2023. So what we want, through an awareness challenge, we want to reuse this teddy bear project and the knowledge of the silent projects as a tool for displaying energy. We want to create other teddy bear projects more for public buildings, because this is very fun and for child, but not really for real agency and real major player. It's not the same used. And finally, about the needs, we want average daily consumption of the current month compared to the average consumption of the last month. This is the first information. In the teddy bears number 4, we want to be alert in case of anomaly on many concessions or exceeding by concession. And we want to be informed about, for example, my standby or my consumption rate, or the standby of the building, or the consumption rate of the public building too. And the best will be to be able to compare each building compared to other building, and maybe teddy bear challenge, teddy bear contest between public buildings. So the idea is very great. There could be more and more new version of the teddy bear project, and maybe the futures of the teddy bear project is not a teddy bear project, but a sensitive energy consumption project for public buildings. So it's okay for me. If you have any question, I'm here to listen, and I will try to answer.
Thank you very much, dear Ruby. Yes, I think this is really interesting and really useful, because we know through children we can then influence parents, grandparents. And I think if we change a little bit teddy bear, maybe in some car, this is also challenging for adult people. And to have it in an office, to have it in, you know, other companies. So I think this is really, really good. Is there any question?
Do you think in your country this kind of project could be improved, because it's very sometimes fun and sometimes not really serious kind of project, but it's really effective. And we show the teddy bear project. I have one here. I show to the mayors, and you see, wow, it's very interesting. And we want a very more serious, sensitive project with lights and with maybe waters to have sensitive and visual show of the energy consumption of buildings. And maybe if you have any money or other financial stuff, we will have maybe 10 or 12 sensitive objects for energy and put on every public building of the city.
Yeah, I think, yeah, this is really good and really challenging, because not only teddy bear is maybe for the schools, but everyone would like to have very good alarming system to see it very easy, very soon, so that something can happen. So I think some years ago we had thermometers to change the color, you know, in way where you are. Now we are in the zone where it's a good temperature or warm enough or too cold or too hot. And I think this visualization of some data that is not so interesting, and maybe no one has time just to go to the telephone or something. And I think this to have in an office or in classroom, or also in company, you know, maybe not teddy bear, maybe we can have a car, or we can have a small house or something. And I think this is really interesting. Yes, I think we will surely try to think and to develop some similar things, especially when we do the workshops with schools and for citizens. Any other question, comments?
Yes, it is very interesting and nice, and I remember very well when you presented in Paris. And I wonder how much can it cost if we make a wider diffusion? As in this moment, you know that there is a big alarm about energy consumption in all the houses and not only in schools. So do you think that if we make a wider use of this teddy bear, I don't know, with thousands of devices, how much can it cost roughly?
This one is really cheap because it's made by citizen, you know, and all the plan are free of license, so you don't have to pay for the license. So, and it's wood, and you have to design it with the laser cutter in a Citizen Lab fabric. So it's Citizen, and it's also really cheap. For an industrial way, I think it's not really important, because inside there is really cheap stuff. I don't have all the word for sorry, but the radio emitters, it's also not really biggest an excessive cost, and it's also not a Raspberry Pi, it's Arduino. Arduino is cheaper than a Raspberry Pi elements. No, the most cost is to connect it with the link images. It's a development, informatic developments that will cost, not this object. And we try to reuse wood from the bin, so it's also cheapest. So maybe it's 40 euro, 60,
40,
60 euro, 40
60,
euro.
16 or
60 for
60,
40 or
okay.
60 euro. This one,
more the connection, you mean?
But without the informatic platform development.
Okay. Thank you.
So it's really interesting to work with students from informatics school, because there are a lot of creativity. They want to use waters and fumé smoke. When the energy increase, they want to have smoke out the object, and fire, and they are very interesting idea. It's very interesting subject, and the director of the informatics school are very, very enjoyed to have this subject for many years. So in the European energy seminary, I try to speak about that in other informatics school or domotic school. I think in your country you have partnerships with this kind of students and schools.
Okay.
I see the hand from Janetta.
If I may, it is very interesting approach of making energy efficiency more fun and, as you mentioned, more approachable. But I was wondering if you faced a different problem with this project, that people did not see it as a serious problem of using too much energy, because this teddy bear was showing them that it's wrong, and they start to minimize the seriousness of the project. Did you face something like this?
The project was with family, so for child it's very very nice. For this kind of project with child is very good. And also there was a website, so when child sees this teddy bear turning, they go to see their parents and say, hey, have a look on the website, and parents go to see the numbers. So it's a link between the website and parents with child and teddy bears. But we need a website also. But for other projects, teddy bears is not a good option, but we still have this part. You can use the logo of our enterprise. You can put on the servo motors everything you wanted, and that could be a very serious project also. So it's not a problem. Answer the question?
It does. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more question? I don't see any hand. So if not, thank you very much, Ruby. We all have your contact. So if the partners see some potential or would like to have some more information, I think they can contact you, and you will be happy to share the information. Thank you very much. And now I will share again, see where we are with our agenda. So thank you very much. And now we are going to present the final results of our Empower project. We will see all the partners will present. Everyone has maximum 5 minutes. So it's not that we present everything that we have done, but just the most important, just to remind other partners about the work, because I'm sure that we have so many results and deliverables that whole day wouldn't be enough. So the first energy agency, Energy and Climate Agency of Podravia, we are the first one. As you know, we have changed our name because we see that we work more and more on climate changes, climate neutrality. So this is how we also change our name, and also we get some new tasks and works to be done for our region. So we promised that we will work on the energy renovation of public buildings in Maribor. So we have done already in 2019 the energy refurbishment of 24 our public buildings, and we have used energy performance contracting mechanisms. So it was investment of 11 million, and I think, if I'm not wrong, more than 3,000 ton of CO2 savings have been achieved. But in new Empower Plus, we also said that we will enforce and help to use more money from cohesion funds. So we again went through the application, and for the municipality of Maribor, we prepare all the documentation and financial calculation about the energy renovation. And again, with the calculation, we will save about 55 tons per year, and we will save more than 33,000 euro in money, but also there will be 144 megawatts hour per year of saving, what we think it's really a lot. Then how we have done it, we prepare all the investment documentation that is needed. So we calculate all the scenarios, all the how the municipality should finance it, how to combine the money to have a maximum effect. And also then we prepare the application form for cohesion policy. This was a lot of administrative work, and this is what we try to change and help municipalities to overcome these administrative barriers when applying for different funds, because we find out that this is really a big barrier, that municipality really are not able, because there are not only the words, but there are many numbers that should be presented, because cohesion policy is working in a way that you can get finance if certain amount of energy is saved, if the savings in the money are achieved, and then of course we have to monitor it. We studied a lot what others has done in this project, because we think we can always learn from someone. In this concrete case, we really were happy to share the experience with Santander City Council, how they monitor energy use and how they really have impacts on the public buildings. But also, we are always looking for how the colleagues in Sweden are doing, because they are usually developing our already known financial mechanisms to the way that are more useful to the public authorities, that are more concrete, and they try to find a way how to overcome these barriers with sometimes public procurements and administrative issues. And I think this is also what we try to copy or to use this information also for our municipality. And we are not at the end yet, so we achieved results, but we still think that the colleagues from Sweden went again a step forward. And in Paris we heard they are doing again the sort of the energy performance contracting for many buildings, but they are doing step by steps. And this was really what we have found as a barrier, that it is too complicated, too many activities at the same time. And so I think the sort of the Empower project will go on. We exchanged the ideas. We are now studying their system and try to implement and try to shape it to the needs of our region. And I'm sure that the colleague from Sweden will help us in, if needed, when we will already have some model for our circumstances. So that was all from the Energy Agency and Energy and Climate Agency of Podravia. Thank you very much. Is there any question? Maybe a very short one. If not, thank you. And I will ask our next partner. This is partner from Almada.
Hello. Yes, I'm the new partner from Almada. Nice to meet you. So all my colleagues that were before in this project, they no longer work in Genial. I'm kind of new, so I only came in by the end of May. So this is a project that it's Sylvia. She always at the meetings with you and all the work done. So what I can say is that since she left and our colleagues left, not many work has been done. Also due to big changes in Genial and also in the municipality, which is the main partner of Genial, and we do all the work together. So I have something to share if it.
I think you can share. Just on the end, you have a.
Oh. I don't know how to do this.
Maybe Claudia can help. Claudia, do you have the presentation?
No, I don't have it.
No.
So,
No,
Katerina, you have a screen share on the bottom.
Yes, I tried that.
Then you click on the screen share, and then you will see the screen you have on a left side. On the top, you have a screen, and then you click on the screen, and then there is a button down there like to share. It should work.
Files. Because it's already in my desktop, but it's okay. So I just so the things I want to share was about the last presentation of my colleague Sylvia, and just to show you the progress. So basically, the main building we were working on, it's a municipal building. We did some interventions in order to reduce the emissions, installed the automatic system for the air conditioner, and shadow the devices to prevent the building to get very hot. But the main thing was the PV solar station. It's already installed. It will be connected. Everything will be working by the end of the year. So that's the great progress done in the last months.
Thank you very much. I think this is also great, and we are not happy to hear that all these big challenges that you have regarding the organization of your agency, and I hope and I wish you that you will overcome also this and work because we know that Almada has worked very well all these years, and we will be happy to have you also in new project. But yeah, all the best with your organization. And
thank you.
Yeah, I think putting the photovoltaics in that time on a roof, it's really, really useful. Is there maybe any question for Katarina? If not, then the next is usually our colleague from Cork, from Ireland, but at the moment Rose will join us a little bit later. So then I can ask Sergio, if you can present a few words about the final results.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Well, I have a presentation I sent to Claudia. Okay.
Do you want to share it your own, or I share it?
Well, I can manage it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We already see something.
Yes.
Okay. Can you see?
Yeah, well.
Okay. No, this is not 2017. I don't remember the year, but anyway, we were all together, and I am very pleased to have been from almost the beginning in this very, very nice project. And it has been a lot of fun and a lot of learning, really. And I would love to go on with all of you. And I have some idea, but we'll talk about this after. Anyway, this has been one of the moments when we were studying about the energy performance contract in Magdeburg, I remember. So anyway, we worked with you, and I showed you the photo, of course, and we have a lot of learn from every partner. And we had our Tuscany stakeholders, mainly Tuscany region, the metropolitan city of Florence, the municipality of Florence, the main board, in order to work about energy issues for the social housing, and a big issue with all the health services that are on Tuscany territory. That has been really a big challenge in this horrible year of pandemic. So we and them, we had a lot of work to do because there was the energy issue, but there was also the pandemic issue, and so it's been very complicated. Then there is the Energy Tuscany Consortium and the University of Firenze about the technical questions. I think we have been successful in this. To improve the regional policies, we oriented in a better way the fund of the previous regional operational fund 2014-2020, and at the end of the story, we cooperated to orient the call that gave 52 million to public bodies in order to make more efficient their buildings. Now, I was scared of what was going on because a pandemic delayed everything in our region. Of course, they had other priorities, but at the end, just in this month, we have a proposal for the new Porfes fund, and they decided to put, at the moment, to put 38 million euro for the call for energy efficiency. I think that Empower had an impact because it's very well specified inside the proposal that now is beginning the ITER, the intervention for installation of intelligent and integrated systems for remote control, regulation, management, monitoring and optimization of energy consumption and polluting emissions, building an automatic control system. This has been, there has been really a great synergy between what we learned from you and what we were going to learn also from our stakeholders, mainly the health services who are really strong in the two main questions that are the energy efficiency by technical measures and the energy performance contracts. And so when I begin all this cooperation with all of you, I remember the meeting in Magdeburg where I was just trying to understand because it was quite new for me. But after all these years and after, thanks to Empower, I've been in contact with our health services. So now I have enough skill and I understood with all my colleagues that it's a question very, very, very important. And we can orient, we can put some right direction for this 38 million. And I think we can try to improve also the amount because for the first, the Porfes 2014, there were not 22 millions at the very beginning. At the very beginning, they were less than half. So I think we can work about this. We made two actions. One, we are cooperating with the new smart city control room of Firenze. Of course, we cooperated a lot with Santander. We studied a lot. The works are on the way. They are not finished because COVID delayed this work. I want to say that we will have a new palace just for the smart city control room that is not exactly the smart city, but it is for all the Florentine area. That it means that more than 1 million people connected with all the energy consumption and traffic lights and so on. This is an action, a very interesting action. Unfortunately, at the moment, the works, just the material works, are not finished. So we are on the way anyway. The other action is to have a new database for the Tuscany region, where the data collected by the Energy Tuscan Consortium come to one only platform, and that they called Energy Manager, and with this they will manage in a better way the consumption of property of the Tuscany region. Of course, we learned a lot again, Cork, Slovenia, Santander. So all these systems are very connected and very similar at the end of the story. This new energy manager will allow a lot of staff to view all the energy consumption center, public light, and create the personal data and so on. So I think we are on the way. Even this is not finished. They put the money, they are really working on it, but really pandemic has been very, very hard for the priority of all the public bodies and for all the political decisors. This is what in 5 minutes, more or less, I wanted to say to you for the moment. Thanks for all this long and beautiful story of many years. Thanks.
Dear Sergio, thank you very much also to you. Yeah, and finger crossed that all this project will be implemented also in new financial perspective. We are all looking for it, because I think really the monitoring and management is really important if you would like to achieve some long-term results. Any questions from the audience? Everyone would like to ask? If not, thank you very much. And we can go on with the municipality of Lorient. I think it's Ruby again.
I think not, because normally Caroline should be there.
Ah, If not, we can go on with Sweden. Maybe I think for sure Lena is here, and then if Pierre come in, he can jump in. So no problem. Yeah. So Lena, we are with you.
Yes. So let's see if I can have everything in order now. I have my PowerPoint. I will share it somehow.
So someone please stop sharing the screen. I don't know which one is it.
I think when I start sharing, I take it. I take the screen. I don't know. I try it. Do I share now?
Yes, please, if you can.
Do you see my screen?
No.
Not yet. We still see some Sergio's. Sergio, please switch off the share screen. Yes, or Claudia, you do it.
I can't find the button to stop sharing the screen.
Then Claudia, you take it over and then give the.
So I can go out and then I come back. Maybe.
No, I cannot stop sharing.
Yeah. Down you have the option.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Got it.
So Lena, now you can.
Got it.
Yes, and I will do it. Zoom is always a challenge.
Yeah. Many files open.
Yeah.
We can see it now.
Do you see my presentation?
Yes,
so,
we do.
And I have to look at where am I? So, okay. A quick review of what we have done in Sweden. So I start with the policy improvement actually. So in this part of Empower, we change policy documents. So we have been focusing on the ERDF, Småland med öarna, which has recently opened in this program period. Well, they haven't had any calls yet, but we are waiting for it. Because we were aiming on this policy instrument because in the previous program, energy efficiency wasn't mentioned. They were focusing only on transport, more or less. And when we compared to the other ERDF programs in Sweden, in the other nuts areas, they had energy efficiency, but in it was only transport. And we thought, well, transport is important, but we have to talk about energy efficiency buildings as well. So now, in this new program, it will be possible to get funding for energy efficiency building. And I think our nagging about the problem with too narrow areas helped. So we also wanted to improve the really complicated process of applying for funding in our program. We are dealing with 3 different regional authorities to have to be able to apply for funding, and they have different processes, all of them. And I can't explain how it works because it's so complicated. But we have managed to facilitate it a bit. We are not it's not 100% good, but it's better than before. So that is 2 improvements. We have energy efficiency for buildings possible, and the process is slightly better than before. So what have we done in Empower Plus? Well, some of these things we have done together with you, of course. We have organized 3 regional stakeholder meetings. And for the interregional exchange, the unexpected high prices of electricity raised the interest of energy poverty. Do you remember when we started to talk about Empower Plus, we said energy poverty, no, we are not interested, that's nothing for us. Well, it is now. So it was raised more interest that we could even dream of, and now it's even worse. So it was a really good experience to learn about the examples from Europe about energy poverty, because this was a new area for us and for the energy climate advisors, who get a totally new type of questions from people who search for advice. And the technical workshop we had in Paris was also very well received for our stakeholders that we brought with us. And we see that even if we not always can see immediate impact from the information and learning exchange that we have, we can see that they are inspired, and they learn, and they use the learnings from it into their organization. I don't know if some of you recognize these two guys. They have been a part of some of the activities we have done over the years, and Empower has helped them in this municipality, Hultsfred, to start a more organized work for energy efficiency. And they are really using impressions from study visits during the years. So very good. And it has helped us to help them, I think. We have during the last year also made an investigation of changes in energy consumption during the pandemic. What happened in the buildings when the buildings were empty? One could think that they would notice some sort of an reduced energy consumption, but the answer is no. There is no difference in the energy consumption at all during the years that the offices have been empty. They can spot a slight reduction of water, of course, but that is the only thing. And so I think that we must go on working with this, because it is lack of routines that makes the energy consumption. They don't adjust the energy, the heating, the lighting, the ventilation, when we have this unique situation with empty office buildings. And so we have to continue. We are not ready with this work. We have to continue work with it. They didn't pick the low-hanging fruits during the pandemic. That's our conclusion. Nevertheless, as I said, we clearly see that municipalities participating in all our activities has really taken impression for the study visits and learnings, and that it has been useful for them and for us as an energy agency. Any questions?
Thank you very much. And I think, Lena, you again just in the whole system of Interreg Europe projects and exchange of experience. And the most like your statement. We didn't think that the energy power has any use here, but then on the end you have seen that this is really something that's spread out. And I think this is the beauty and inspiring of this all cooperation, that at first sight you think, oh, this is maybe not interesting to me, this is not something to our subject, but then when you see a little bit more information, when you get some more deep impression, then you can implement it in your region. And sometimes I have because I already have some years of experience, I see that maybe I have heard or seen something 2 or 3 years before, and then just in 1 minute I see, oh yes, we can use this in our region. And I think this is something that is not even, that we are not even able to present in the reports, because we are very administrative and very strict to some indicators, but this is really added value, not only the new friendships, the new partnership, but also this that opens up our not even known experience and knowledge from others. So thank you very much. I'm really happy for it. Any question for Lena? Yeah. If not, thank you very much. And we can go to, just a second. We have now Mazovian Energy Agency. So Janeta, please, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. I hope you can hear me well. I will open my presentation. Can you see it?
Just a second. I have seen the hand from Pim
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tim, did you want to ask something?
I just wanted to ask Lena if I understood correctly that despite all the increase in energy costs, you're not seeing any behavior change.
Now, I think after summer we can see, and now this start talking about saving energy. We have had recently an election in Sweden, and during the campaign, it was 2 weeks ago, during the campaign for the politicians, they didn't mention the word saving energy and energy, well, as has been discussed in other countries in Europe. I know all the campaigns in Germany and I think France, etc. During the campaign of the petition, they never mentioned save energy because that would ruin their their campaign. Now the election is over, so they are steady in the boat again, the politicians, and now they will start. Now they have started to talk about saving energy, and the energy prices are peaking. So we see difference now, but not during the spring.
Okay, right. Thanks very much. Thank you.
So now the floor can be taken by Janeta.
Thank
Please.
you. I hope you can hear me and you can see my presentation.
Yes.
So I would like to present you the Mazovia final results of Empower project and reached by thanks to Empower project. So just as a reminder, our first problem when we come to Empower project was that energy monitoring was not considered to be sufficiently important and anyway essential in energy projects, and it was not mandatory in any project implementation that was financed from regional operating program. So this problem was solved in Empower. We managed to change the policy, and coming to the Empower Plus, we discuss what we can do next with our policy authorities. And we came to the conclusion that we still need some systematization as the different approaches to energy monitoring measures might cause probably less effective utilization of European money, especially with the frames of the regional operating program. So that was our starting point coming here to Empower Plus. And it is very important in a current world situation with such a high prices everywhere, inflation, fuel crisis, and war in Ukraine. And it's very interesting when we talked with some of the municipalities, especially in schools. I don't know if you know this, but in Polish case, during COVID, schools used the same amount of energy that it was before COVID. And it's surprising, it's shocking even, because there was no students inside the buildings and they still consumed the same amount of energy. And this was the most important shock for us to agree to do more. So as you can see, what we did, after all the conclusion that we made with the policy authorities and learning needs identification, we, thanks to you, evaluate all your good practices. And we also evaluate our good practice, which was the virtual power plant in Waver, the Warsaw district, that we present you in Paris, when we monitor energy production and consumption. And also we took into consideration the indoor and outdoor environment by doing this. So after doing all of this analysis, together with our external experts and taking into consideration good practices, especially from Santander, Lorient, and Cork, that showed similar approach that we would like to see in Mazovia, and what we were looking for. Based on those findings, we prepared the report, the final report that we can show regional policies and we can support them in the further policy changes. The final report presents the process of designing implementing and the final effects that energy monitoring system can do in a public building, along with the cost analysis. So as I mentioned before, it contains an experience of MARP good practices, and also this it analyzes the solution of your good practices that you present to us. The ultimate goal that we had when making this report was to benchmark the most cost-effective ways to monitor energy. And as you may know, MAR is engaged in policy-making process. We are the representatives. We are represented in monitoring committee meetings that make the frames of regional operating program. And our next goal is to present what we learned from the report and what we can do in the next financing program phase. We managed to have this one record that all findings from Interreg projects will be taken into consideration when making the calls. So that was our first success here. But as you might know, especially as Lina told, the process of convincing policy authorities to anything, it's very long time. It's very long. It's time consuming, and you have to say again and again what is the most important, so they can start listening. And right now, the money and energy prices is the subject that they see as a problem, and they start listening very carefully. So we are still in the process of cyclic working meetings, and our work will be ongoing after the end of the project. So we are thankful for the Empower to start the change, but we are still on the very troubled way to go further. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Janeta, and all the work you have done in Poland. Yeah. Any question? You want to add something?
Yes, maybe not a question,
yes,
but to add something.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, just go on.
What I just wanted to underline that the Empower project helped us to better understand energy monitoring as such. And what did Empower Plus project? We also focus on the interior. We are generally, when speaking about energy efficiency, we are only focusing on the buildings shelves and envelopes. But in our opinion, especially my personal opinion, it's not enough, because you do many energy efficiency actions outside the building or on the building, but you miss the basic factor, what happens inside. And thanks to the report, thanks to the Empower Plus project, we focus on the interior. We put lots of sensors inside the classrooms, and you would be surprised what we found out, how bad air quality they got, even if the buildings were from technical point of view perfectly thermal insulated. But as we can see from the report, it's absolutely not enough. So my wish is to also better understand the interior management, and to maybe to have some follow-ups, maybe within this consortium on this team. So yeah, that's my wishful thinking, but I hope it will be realized at some point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. 50 years ago, there was a theory about how much the organizational measures can help technical measures to achieve maximum results. And it was about 10%. But now we see really with the monitoring, especially when we do the total annual renovation and we have like a perfect building, we see that the organizational measures are even 25 or more %. Or even worse, the users can make you that your perfect house is not working at all and is the worst house at all. So this is how important is behavior changes, the measures that you monitor, continuously upgrading, changing, helping. So I think, and now also all the architects and others that were really focused only on technical are now sometimes crying what we have done wrong. And we say, no, everything is perfect. You just forgot that the house is for people, and not just for house as such, just to have a nice monument. So, and taking into account people and social, yeah, I'm also a technician, I'm also chemical technologist. I really don't like this social issue, but I have to agree and I have to change myself. Yes, they are much more important than we technicians. Technical oriented people are thinking. It's not everything, or I would say it's nothing in the technology if people don't understand and if people don't cooperate. So this is the most, I think, also important. Yes, team, the floor is yours, please.
I feel a little bit shy about talking after that impassioned reply to Bartosz's remarks, but I will nevertheless. Two things really. Number one, throughout this discussion so far, and I'm sure it will continue, I have that warm feeling that I'm working with a collection of pirates, entrepreneurs who really want to make a difference. And for us as project designers, that's really motivating. So, this is exciting, to see at the end of the process, well, where we are now anyway, what's happening and what you've been doing. The other thing I just wanted to add, very specific thing, dear Janetta, I need your confirmation on this. I think, well, Maria Giovanna as well, I think that when we did the final report for Empower, we were able to say that Mazovia Energy Agency had influenced 3 million euros of ERDF financing. Am I correct? Is that the number that you guys remember? You're both nodding, so maybe I'm correct.
Yes, you're
I mean,
correct.
that is a huge number. And I know it's in a way not important for what happens on the ground, but from the program point of view, that was another really good gold star moment for this project, because we were able then to say that the influence on ERDF could be measured in a way that's important for the program. So thank you, especially to Mazovia for that. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Any more comments, questions, ideas? If not, we will give the floor to Sonia to present what is going on or what has been going on in Santander. The floor is yours, Sonia.
Thank you very much, Vlasta. I'll try to share my screen. Okay.
Yes, we see.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So first of all, thank you very much to all of you for our cooperation during this almost 6 years of project. And I would like to share with you how Santander City Council has improved the energy efficiency in municipal buildings in the framework of the Empower project. So, as you know, we have implemented an energy monitoring tool for municipal buildings, and following the 3 steps that are shown in this slide. The first one has been the digitalization of the energy data, not only the electricity data, but also the gas data. All this energy data has been integrated into the Santander Smart City platform that provides a unique repository where all the data coming from the different municipal services shall be stored in order to carry out an integral management of the city. And last but not least, the visualization of this energy data is available through different dashboards that has been defined in collaboration with the municipal technicians and municipal managers that will be the users of this energy monitoring tool. So now I would like to share with you the main dashboard of this Santander Smart City platform. My apologies because all the menus are in Spanish, but the most important one in this project is the one related to the energy. So if you click on the energy dashboard, you will have access to the building consumption, the billing or invoice data, and also to the street lighting consumption. So when you click on the building consumption, you will have access to both dashboards, one for the electricity consumption and another one for the gas consumption. And both dashboards have been designed following the same approach. So you may choose the type of building, the periodicity of the data, the time where you want to analyze or assess the performance of the energy data, and then you can visualize different information related to the energy, such as the total consumption in the period of time selected, the CO2 emissions, and we have also related these two parameters with the surface of the buildings. In addition to this, you may visualize the geolocalization of the different buildings, and the size of the dot is directly related with the energy consumption. You may also visualize the evolution of the electricity or gas consumption, as well as the CO2 emissions within the periods of time. And in addition to this, if you want to analyze more deeper the individual performance of each one of the buildings, you have an option where you can click or type the cubes, and then you have access to a more detailed information of each one of the buildings. Okay, now if we move to the invoice dashboards, you have also two dashboards that has been designed following the same approach. So thanks to these two dashboards, the invoice management is much more user-friendly. I forgot to mention that before the Empower project, the only information related to energy that the municipality received was the invoices in paper format. So imagine now that they only have to click on the screen, and they may make this invoice management more easily. So as you may choose the type of building, the periodicity of the data, and also the periods of time that you want to analyze. And you may see the evolution of the cost and also the energy consumption within these periods of time. And finally, in addition to this, you may compare different invoices of the same building, and all this data can be exported to an Excel file. Okay, what is new for us in this last part of the project, Empower project? Thanks to this energy monitoring tool, we can monitor the energy consumption and the energy cost, but also an historical energy data of these municipal buildings is now available. And this historical energy data is being periodically updated. So as an example of the use of this historical energy data, we would like to share with you that in 2015, an energy audit of the public lighting and 65 municipal buildings was performed. And thanks to this energy audit, we had a real picture of the energy performance, not only of the public lighting, but also of these 65 municipal buildings. And this energy audit included also some energy efficiency improvements to be implemented, and also the associated savings. Okay, in 2018, it was launched a tender for energy efficiency improvement works in 46 of these municipal buildings, and these works were implemented at the end of 2019 and at the beginning of 2020. So thanks to these values provided by the energy audit, and also all the real measurements of the different buildings, we have made an assessment of 36 municipal buildings, comparing the estimated values with the current or the real values. So as I have commented, 46 buildings were applied this refurbishment in terms of energy efficiency. We had data, available data of 40 of them, and after the assessment, we realized that 34 of them were achieved the savings estimated in the energy audit. So to conclude this presentation, I would like to share with you the saving assessment that we carried out in one of the public schools. So we had the real data that is stored in the energy monitoring tool. And here you can see the annual consumption in 2018, 2019, 20 and 20, and 21. And when I was listening to Lena and also Saneta, I think that I understood that when they analyzed the consumption in 20 and 20, they didn't observe a reduction in the energy consumption. So, however, in the case of Santander, we can see how the energy consumption suffered a huge reduction in 20 and 20. So, due to the pandemic, we didn't consider this reduction related to the energy efficiency measures applied. So we didn't analyze this consumption, but we compare the consumption in 2018 and 20 and 21, and also between 2019 and 2021. And we compare not only the electricity consumption, but also the CO2 emissions at the annual cost. So to summarize the main results obtained in the case of this school, the energy savings that were estimated in the energy audit were 40,700 kilowatts hour per year, and we have measured when we relate the consumption in 2019 and 20 and 21st, bigger savings than the estimated ones. However, in the case of the years 2019 and 2021, we obtain high energy savings, but they are smaller than the estimated. But we think that is a good tool to make this assessment and show that these energy efficiency measures have worked as we expected. And the final parameters that we have analyzed, and it comes from one of the meetings in the Empower project, is the indicator that relates the investment made in the energy efficiency measures related with the surface of the building. And in this particular case is 17.45 euros per square meter. So I think that is all from my side. If you have any question, I will be glad to answer you.
Thank you very much. And I like this last picture from Santander. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, and I think, really this year's talking about the kilowatts, square meters, euros, I think we all step by step have understand what does it mean, investment and then savings. And I think we are quite relaxed now that we understand that we can present to different audience, to different stakeholders in the way that they understand. And I think this is also the beauty of the mentoring people behind. Any question for Sonia? Yeah, we like implement.
I didn't find the microphone.
Just ask.
No, I'm glad to see that the example you showed from the school, that they had routines and they had measures so we can see that when the school was closed, the energy consumption was reduced. Congratulations, it's really, really good. We didn't see it at all due to lack of routines, etc. So that's splendid.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lena.
Yeah, we have seen that in Slovenia, we have seen the drop in 2020 because the schools were really closed. So no one was at school. So in that time, it was a big drop. But then in 2021, we had some days the schools were open, some days they were closed, or in some days only few people were around the school. because the school heating system are quite old, so they have no possibility to switch on and off different parts of the buildings, so it means when some people were at school in 5 classes or 3, the whole school had to be warmed up. This is one result. The other is that we had some measures to ventilate the classes more often than usual. So people have opened the windows and make new air come in. And also from the physical point and technical point, if you have some people in the school, they warm up the school because they give up some watts of energy to the spaces, and so the heating system has not need to warm up so much. So this is usually then the reason why some consumption also in 2021 has risen in Slovenia in comparison to 2029. So we are happy to see in Santander we still have drop of the energy use in 2021. Some more comments? Yeah, if not, Pierre is still not with us, and I think also Rose is not here, but we see Lisa. Hello, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, how are you all?
Fine, thank you, and you?
Very well. I have only started in the Regional Assembly. This is my 2nd week, so I can't take over Rose's presentation, unfortunately. I'm just here to listen in, but it's been really interesting listening to you all and your passion. But what I'm kind of hearing most, and I think Tim, you mentioned it earlier as well, is that sense of camaraderie and the sense of togetherness and support that you've really enjoyed working with each other. So it gives me hope for future EU projects that I might be involved with, that it might be a pleasant experience, hopefully.
Thank you very much for kind words. We are happy to hear it, and also welcome on board. And we're also looking forward that we could work with board for sure in future. Shall Catherine take over Rose, or shall we let the Rose have a presentation a little bit later?
I think I leave Rose talking, but just on my experience on the Empower project as well. I suppose I've been here since 2020, so under the very brilliant eye of Rose. So I've been watching her very closely over the last 2 years. I think the one thing I took from it was when we done the workshop in Cork, and the amount of good practices that actually have come from this Empower project have been unbelievable. Things that people can actually take with them and go, okay, this is actually something we can do with our country. It's not something that's totally out of our hands. And the different ideas that have come from the Empower project have been great as well. So again, I'm looking forward to hopefully working with some of you in the future on different projects. Hopefully when this next call comes through, there might be something in the pipeline. So that's all for me. But yeah, I'll let Rose, because she's obviously the expert on everything that we've done over the 5 years or so. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Nice words, and then for sure we will wait for Rose. She was also the big motor of our project, especially in this energy poverty. I think without Rose and Cork, we wouldn't be so far. We are all learn really a lot. So I think in meantime, between Rose will join us about in half an hour time, she said. So in between, I would ask our secretariat to give us a little bit of administrative issue, how to close our project. This is also what has to be done. But I'm sure that there is no problem because Tim and Maria Giovanna are here. So the floor is yours, Secretariat.
Thank you, Vlasta. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the nice words you said from the beginning. We share the same feeling. And Empower is really maybe one of our best projects ever, especially because it was kind of long experience, a journey together. And so we will see for the future. Now, for project management, we are happy to say that we are doing quite well. This presentation is just a summary of what we sent already by email to all the partners. And just a reminder about the last progress report. Here you can see the timetable. You have it ready in the paper. So we sent it in 2 weeks ago. This is because it was a little bit complicated to define the right deadlines to from the beginning of the project to the end of the project, because Empower has a kind of overlapping in the last 3 months of last year. So anyway, we tried to fix the milestones for all the partners to follow in order to follow a clear timeline. For us, the really important dates we kindly ask partners to respect is the 30th of September, because it's really important that we close everything by 31st of December. So the 30th of September is a key date for the partners to send to us the list of expenditure, because we want that everything will go to the first level controller by the 7th of October. Otherwise, there will be really short time for the first level controller to certify the expenses. So, and then for the activities, you already worked on the policy instrument, so it will be just a matter to concentrate in the exchange of experience report, and we will send the template. We will send the template later on the 10th of October. First, we ask you in the last week of September to concentrate on the list of expenditure, and then all the other dates will follow easily. So, and the other key date is the 25th of November, because we want to submit by the 2nd of December. If you remember, last year was more or less the same timeline because of Christmas. So that's the 25th of November. It's also another key date for us to be ready to submit everything at the beginning of December. So any questions on the timeline? Is it okay? Many partners already sent to us the list of expenditure. So there will be another slide which summarizes everything. So this other slide is just an overview about the activities, outputs, and minor verification in the 3 pillars: project management, interregional learning, and communication and dissemination. It's just an overview. And as you know, we have to submit for project management by 31st of December, and the verification will be the report has been submitted. Then the interregional learning, I've tried really to put everything in a very short way in this box. Main outcome will be the policy improvement, since all the for Empower Plus, let's say, all the policy improvements are new policy improvements compared to the old, compared to first Empower. Then basically the way the JS will check the results is exactly the results you have achieved. I think there is no problem for Empower because all partners are working in very tangible, very good results. So I think it will be no problem, but this is just a slide to remind partners that this is, how is the JS going to check that the project has achieved the policy improvement. This will be done through the result. This is why we send to you the templates with the with the report, but also with the policy learning plan to explain, just to have some concrete plans as well in case of any checks or other questions coming from the JS. And then the good practices on the website. NRCAP is caring about this. It's all right. Then the stakeholders group meetings and all the interregional learning events happened, including today the capacity building event, and combined with the final event. Communication for this last year, it's very limited because it's just basically an update of the website, the newsletter, and just 3 media appearances. And you can do this we will send you the template, but probably will be just communicating by email news to Claudia or Vlasta. So this is not a problem at all. So for the financial status and also for the link to the policy instrument, we are doing quite well, because as you can see, this is an overview for the list of expenditure. Some partners already submitted to the lead partner. Ireland did brilliantly because Rose is changing position, so they wanted to close everything in advance, so well done. They already completed all the process. But for the others, I mean, you are on the way, especially for the partners that haven't yet created a list of expenditure on IGOLF. Please do it. Please send it to us by 30th of September. Remember the first slide with the deadlines, so we can then respect all the timetable. For the policy instrument, is okay. Everyone has completed the template. And now what you need to do for the partners that haven't yet completed everything on IOLF is just to upload all the words, all the template in Word into IOLF. Please be aware that on IOLF there are some little bit different questions on the way you demonstrate the policy improvement. So you can use a lot of material you already drafted, both on the static template, on the learning plan you work. So just upload everything on IOLF and then send us an email to say that you did it, and we can double check together the text in the IOLF. And now, last two slides for the joy of Tim. Tim, are you there? I cannot see anyone, you know.
Yes, I'm here. I'm
Every
here.
time. Oh, I can see somebody. I can see Claudia smiling,
Yes.
at least.
Yes, I have the most exciting presentation elements you've ever seen. But could we just go back to the previous slide, please, dear Maria
Yes.
Giovanna? I just wanted to make a point. Our dear Iberian friends, so that's Ajneal and Santander, you are a little bit behind schedule on the partner report because you have the terrible two-step procedure. So just to explain to everybody else, first, the Spanish and Portuguese partners have to use their decentralized controller, and then the report has to go to the ministry. So if you could very kindly give some priority to this, you are probably the ones who are furthest behind. It's a gold star to the partners with a centralized control because they're already submitted. Enagap, Sweden and Mazovia. Well done. Okay, so now the exciting two slides that Maria Giovanna volunteered me to present are the next one. Yes, so really this is just make sure that you have included all expenditure. Anything you spend in the last couple of months really can't be included. So you have, for those of you who have not yet prepared your final list of expenditure, make sure you include everything. But the reality is that the staff costs in particular that you incur during October, November, December really can't be included. Just in practical terms. And also, if you are paying your first level controller and you want to get the ERDF, pay in advance. Yeah, so that you can include it in the list of expenditure. Once it's all's been done, once the progress report has been submitted, it's very difficult to change anything except at the demand of the JS. Okay on that one? And the last one, even more exciting. Here we go. I told you, archiving. This is a little bit horrible. We've tried to make it more exciting by putting some color in. So what happens is that at some moment, the whole accounts and everything of the whole program will be submitted, well, they're submitted annually from the program to the Commission. And that's what the first paragraph is about. So all the project documents must be available for 2 years from the date on which the reports are sent to the Commission. So we think that means you have to keep your reports available for the 2 years from January the 1st, 2024. Okay. And that's important because in the end, the punishment will be on the lead partner, and none of you want to punish Vlasta because she's been so lovely and leaderly and all those good things. And we're just consultants, so we'll run away if it gets really difficult. We're here to help you at all. Okay, so purple text, our guess is that the date referred to in the first paragraph is the 31st of December 2023. That's why you will be, we ask you kindly to make sure.
2024, I will say.
Okay, we're thinking that the report will go in December 2023, and so
no, 2022.
No. In all honesty, it cannot be done by the end of this year. We will submit our report, but this is the program's report to the Commission. So they will spend the whole of 2023 preparing that report.
Yeah, and then 24 and 25 until
exactly
the January 26, we should have all the papers.
Exactly. On the 1st of January 2026, you can put them into the dustbin or something.
Yep, that's clear. Thank you.
We will, or at least Vlasta will get that date as soon as it's known, and I think there'll be a long wait. Please also, this is the text from the JS, by the way. We is the JS. We also advise. The JS advises that partners check if longer archiving periods apply in their region or member state. So please just do that. Oh, Maria Giovanna wants me to finish quickly. Then
sorry,
finally,
it's just when I click that change the slide.
No, it's okay. I'm making a joke of it because this is so boring. But it's also
sorry, Tim. It's clear that the JS will communicate to you, Vlasta, when they will send everything to the Commission.
Exactly. So it could be that in October next year, Vlasta will get an email to say, "Dear Vlasta, we will be sending the relevant reports on the 31st of December 2023, or maybe not."
Yes.
So
also, I think this is always. Go on. Just go on.
Sorry, I was moving on to the yellow text, which is really please make sure that if there are changes to your organization in any way at all, that you tell the lead partner. We would kindly suggest, dear Vlasta and Claudia, that you set up some system, maybe every 3 months or 6 months, you just send an email to all the partners to say, hello, everything's still okay, you haven't disappeared, or whatever. That way you keep in touch, and there's just avoiding, stupid things. Okay, so that's that. It's about archiving. It is important. You are all publicly funded and public organizations, so you should, or your colleagues should know all about this. We feel that it's our duty just to emphasize that the end of the project comes, but it's not the end of the full story. Thank you very much. Questions? We'll try to answer them.
By the way, a good news is that everything on IOLF will remain available. So it's not only in IOLF, we can find not only the report with the text, but also all the attachments, all the first level controllers, checks, all the text, everything. So it's kind of really good system to keep key documents all together without losing files or things. But of course, all the internal documents is a responsibility of every partner to check. and safe.
The nightmare is that there will be some form of second level control on the whole program. So that probably one of the audit offices in the Commission will randomly select some reports to be checked and verified. Okay, so there are 170 something projects funded by Interreg Europe under this program, and with each one an average of 6 or 7 partners, and each of those have done 6 or 7 reports. So there is a small chance that a partner in Empower might find themselves being checked in a very fierce way, which means on the spot checking all the documents that were submitted and approved by the first level controller. That's the nightmare. We hope it won't happen. Most of the checks will be at the level that Maria Giovanna has described. In other words, just using the material that's available on IO. But all we can say is beware.
Thank you very much. I think these were really important information. And yes, Claudia, I'm sure and Simona will have will take care about checking the partners few times per year, just to asking, are you okay? Or I hope we will find another opportunity and still be in touch the next 3-4 years in the project. Yeah, I think maybe. Sorry,
Vlasta, just to say that anyway, just to be not too negative, in our experience with Interreg Europe, since we have all the checks in advance with first level controllers and so on, the possibility to have big nightmares, I mean big bad surprises are very small, because there is all the work we did in advance with all the checks with the partners, with the activities and everything. So in our experience, and this is why we also like this program, because you have to pay first as an organization. So you check carefully what you're doing, and this is a kind of check. So without getting in the nightmare we had in other programs, where you get money in advance and then it's difficult to monitor after when they arrive and check everything. So just be precise to save all the documents, and even in case of a check, it should be all right.
Yeah,
sorry for this.
Yeah, no problem. I think maybe it's just with partners from Almada, because they have some disorganizational changes. So we kindly ask Katarina to take care about this paper. So if something happened and if you leave or something, that there will be some box with the Empower name on, that someone that will be there and to check the box. I think all others are, some of us are, or some of you are also some cities like Santander and some public organization that it's a little bit more difficult to just disappear, because it's much easier to find them. So this is also positive effect, that we are not so scare or to take care too much about some future. And we also have a lot of papers already in our office. Yeah. Also ask Sergio. There was also in Italy, you have different levels of coordination of your projects. Someone is doing something and some others. And then so this is also to advise you, please take care about some papers, some deliverables, some reporting and some monitoring of staff and stuff like this, because it's also you have changed the organization, and I think this is also could be just a little bit more risky. All others, I think it's not so problematic. Any question from partners regarding administrative issue, reporting, dates?
we're always here to help. So please don't regard this as the last moment. We're really happy to deal with these questions. So if you need to talk to colleagues and come back with questions, please don't be shy.
Okay. Yep. If there is no question, we have a last point to discuss. Are there already any idea about project cooperation? Does anyone already look for some partners? Do you have any proposal on which topic we could cooperate in future? I think this is now before we close today's meeting, before we close the project, I think the topic that is more motivating and it's more nice to discuss. How your organization are looking? Are you still interested in some Interreg Europe or maybe some other programs? So Lena, the floor is yours.
Yes, yeah, we have an idea that I think would fit into the Europe, the concept. Let's see if I can explain it, because it's not my idea, but we are the Energy Agency for Southeast Sweden are going together with the Energy Agency of Skåne, so we will increase our area. And I discussed with my new future colleagues about project ideas, and they suggested repower local politicians to have some a project to raise knowledge, make them understand better, and give them inspiration about the energy system, raise awareness, and show options for local politicians to act smart in the energy system. So some sort of increased capacity in general about the energy system and etc. And this is, of course, something that is super urgent now with the energy crisis that we are facing, and we are a bit worried that, as I mentioned, they didn't talk about energy savings at all during the election campaigning, and that's no good. We want to even more raise their knowledge about energy. The politicians, I mean, they are decision makers. They need to know more. So that's something I think maybe you have good systems how you introduce when there's new politicians on board in the municipalities. How do they get the knowledge? Because they are not experts in energy and climate. They have other skills, of course. So that's my suggestion.
It's very, very good idea. We're already developing some sort of the glossary, because we also have the elections in November, and so they will start in January. And we will start the whole procedure of information and education again. And we also think that this is something that politicians should be taken on board as one of the most important stakeholders to understand, because they frame the policy, they prove the policies, they prove the projects, and if they don't understand basic knowledge, basic concept, I think it's difficult, because we are now coming into the area, not only the energy, but the whole climate and other issues, which are even more difficult to understand, to see at once, to develop. And I think such a program, we call it in Slovenia, we have a primary school, we have a kindergarten, but we have some program before children are entering to school, and we call it small school. So they have a preschool training how to behave in the school. So I think this idea of the small school for politicians is really good, and I think this could also go through some parallel topics, not only on, because I think when I saw the new programs, the new topics, energy efficiency is somehow not top priority if you look just by the name. But it is when you look the climate neutrality, CO2 neutrality, and so we have to pack a little bit this idea to this climate neutrality framework, I think. So this is something that then we can say this sort of the education information campaign and program for them to understand. Yes, I think this is.
We have been talking about this for many years, more or less, of course. And one problem is if we make some sort of a raising awareness knowledge event for the politicians. Sometimes they come, but most time they don't come because it's outside. They don't, when they're paid as being a local politician, they're paid during doing what they're supposed to do, not going to our events that is outside their tasks.
Yep.
So we must find a way to have it inside their tasks, because otherwise they don't have time. They are not paid for it. It's not within the task of the politicians. So it has to be included.
Yeah, so we could share the experience on this issue, how to really make the energy efficiency their task obligation somehow, in a soft way, not force them. I'm a little bit technical. I would just force them put into, yeah. I think this is good exchange. So we have the same experience that we could take them as the stakeholders in our stakeholders group, 1 or 2 people, but then, you know, they just read something, they don't have a time to do this and time to do this. And I think working not only with the politician, but also we call it in Slovenia, we have like a cabinet for them. In municipality, they take care about this municipality council and politicians. This is special office, and I think that the target points for this experience exchange should be this support office of these politicians, because they have some protocols, they have some rules how to behave, and I think we could step in their internal rules on knowledge, and I think this is not only on as a whole on the sustainable development goals, they should have it there. For example, I saw some idea that each project that goes through the procedure of municipal council should have on the end, like influence on the sustainable development goals. At the moment, there is obligatory to have how the project or the issue influence the public budget. But then we have how it could be added to influence the sustainable development goals. And I think maybe, Lena, I saw on your presentation also that this project contributes to the goal number 3, 7, and 8 and stuff like this. So I think this is how we should tackle them or pick them and get them involved more actively.
So the conclusion from us is that we are very interested to continue to work with this group if possible, if we find a topic that everybody can join. When is the call for Interreg Europe?
In the spring, I think. So we should prepare quite soon some ideas, find some partners, and then to prepare proposal, because I think maybe May it will be the deadline or somehow. Yeah, any other idea? We had an idea discussing already with Maria Giovanna about financing again, about some mechanisms, some preparing some investment plan, because we see there is also a lack of information and capacity how to prepare good investment plan according to the new sustainable investment rules and stuff like this. So I think it's also a little bit have an idea on this part. Any other idea?
I was just wondering.
Yeah, oh, sorry, Janeta, you are the first one.
Actually, sorry. Maybe we sound similar. I was just wondering if we could combine those two ideas, because politicians are involved in making the investment plans for the municipalities, for example. So would it be possible to combine the capacity building on technical side, but also the financing aspects, because that can bring more politicians into our project, because they always look for funding. So we could use the idea of not only capacity building on financing, but also on the technical issues, and they can be brought to the project more eager.
Yep, be combined. We will think about it. Yep. Sergio, some idea?
Yes, I would like to promote the biomass. We have, I think we can share some project in order of the promotion of the use of biomass. As for example, I don't know in your countries, but here all the biomass products double the price. So this can change. This is a game changer. So we need to use our resources, and we have a lot. You too have a lot in Slovenia, for instance. And I wonder if we can promote, we can make a work, a transnational work, in order to promote to public administrations the use of biomass in the best way. Looking also, of course, how to minimize the PM10. Another one is to promote the grid, the district heating, for example. That's another issue that is very, very useful in order to save energy. I'm working in these two issues. I don't know exactly if they are inside the Interreg program. I think that exchanges that can promote this stuff are useful. But I agree also about what you said before, the other project to form politicians. I guess politicians are elected politicians, right? This is so city council or the metropolitan council or regional council. It's perfect. I think it's very useful, even if it's very difficult to say something technical when politicians are very fond of their opinion for other reasons. Anyway, I think it could be very useful. And so I would like to join this also. But also biomass and district heating, how to promote them could be interesting.
Thank you very much. Good ideas. Any more? I think energy poverty will also be a topic. I know that in Ireland they work a lot on it, and it's topic already in Sweden, it's topic already here. And I think during this winter, we will all see that the poverty is really important issue. Yeah, we collect the ideas. Also, Tim and Maria Giovanna has made some notes, I'm sure. Yes, when we put something on a paper, we will circulate it. If you have some idea already on a paper, we will be happy to receive it. If you have already some other proposals, just send around the invitation. I think, yeah, we already know so good each other that not long writing is needed, could be a short notice and not to take too much time. I don't see that Rose has already joined us. Rose is still not here.
No, no, she's not.
We are very sorry, and also Pierre is not here. This is also what we are sorry for. So, are there any comments before we end the meeting? Yes, Sergio?
Yes, how can we share the best the proposals for the future? I mean, you are our leader, and you go on sharing the proposal between all of us, or do you have in mind?
You just send some idea around, and if we will have some idea, we will send it around. So I think this is the easiest way. You don't have to make a big papers, just few 3-4 sentences, send around, and you will see. Or if sometimes we have some specific program where maybe some Central Europe, Northern Europe, there are some other programs we can cooperate. So it's not always only Interreg Europe. There are also some others. So I think this was not meant to be only for Interreg Europe, but any other possibility. I think it's there will be many of them, not only in this year, also in the future. So I think for sure we will find some way somehow to be in contact, especially maybe if some it's not only the lead partner that could copy, but I think if you have some idea and maybe you can send it also to Lena and Lena will answer, or this is not something that we mean that always all partners should be together and coordinated through the lead partner. I think we know each other very well. We already know in which field who is working more or less, or do you need CET agency. So don't bother with it that we would like to be still a lead partner in the making communication. Just make your as the best suits you. Just call other partners. So we will be happy if any of you make even bilateral projects, just to continue in some way what we have started as consortium. So don't worry. It's not always that all consortium, all the people should be involved, and the all communication will go through the NRGAP. This is not really needed. Yeah, so we will close the meeting. This was really, really my pleasure to have you on board all these 5 years. Each of you was really, really added value with your work, with your stakeholders. You gave us, not only us directly involved in the project, but I also talk about our colleague from our agency and our stakeholders, that we were really happy to share this experience, to share information, and we really felt all the time like working with friends. And this is what for sure I will take on for all my future project. And I wish you all the best with the closure of this one. And I wish you many, many of new different projects. Yeah, Claudia's just...
Yeah, last time, can we maybe take one photo for the end?
Before the end, so please switch on the camera if you can, if you have, and Claudia will make a last picture. So Claudia, let's do it.
Okay.
Smile.
Okay, I done it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and all the best to you, my dear.
Okay.
Thank you. And thank you
Bye,
very much, everybody.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Please,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, Lisa and Catherine, please say that we are very sorry that Rose was not able to join. That
No
we will
problem.
send around her presentation, and I'm sure that we will still work with her anywhere she will go. So don't be that she doesn't have to be too sorry for not presenting. But we really missed her. This was the truth. But I'm sure that there will be possibility to discuss it.
No problem. She's not too far away anyway, so she'll still be around.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Bye,
Bye everyone. Lovely
Bye,
work.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.